Hello, 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 everybody. This is Dr. Renita, and I'm going to do what I hope you will do, and it's called sharing this post. So, for everybody who's here, I hope that you are as excited as I am about this day, about this Sunday. Once again, I'm Dr. Renita, founder and visionary of The Refining Life, and this is one of our new programs called The Sunday Shift. And the Sunday shift is every fourth Sunday, and it is meant to help you help others and help you help yourself prepare to shift from Sunday to Monday, from the end of this month into the beginning of next month, so that you can move forward positively and productively. And every month, we have a new speaker. That means we're going to have 12 speakers this month. If you missed last month, Angela Reed came in and laid it down. She changed our lives. We were ready to reset for the next month. We were ready to reflect for the next month. And she gave us homework. So I hope you did that. If you missed Angela Reed last month, I invite you to go check it out after today. Don't mess around and miss this, because if you're here now, you need to catch this. We are getting ready to be blessed. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, by an amazing and powerful woman who's going to come to us to talk about something we all need to concentrate on. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her into the room. Her name is Rochelle. Here she is, Miss Rochelle. And the crowd goes wild.
Hey.
At least the crowd of me, because right now I'm the crowd that we can hear. But I see that there are plenty of other people who are here to share and hear from you as well. So, Rochelle, I'm getting ready to step back and step out. Go ahead and give the people the Sunday shift that they need.
Well. Good evening, everybody. I want to say thank you to Doc for giving me this opportunity to be able to impart into you all lives about what we're going to be talking about today. Today, we're going to be talking about chase the purpose and not the dream. And so I'm super excited. You might want to have your pens, your papers, because I'm a good note taker and I love interaction. And so what I want you all to do is to be able, share this, comment, share it with somebody, tell your mama, tell somebody about what's about to happen today, right now, in the midst of it. And so today I'm going to talk to you about chasing your purpose and not the dream. And often, a lot of times we find ourselves, I'll give you an example of Joseph. Joseph was a dreamer, but his brothers didn't like what he was doing and the things that he shared. But on the flip side of all that, he dreamed a lot. And in the dream, it wasn't that he was chasing the dream. It was that it was a purpose in the dream. And so what you want to understand, that God has given you purpose. He has given you everything that pertains to life and godliness. He has given you everything for your purpose. And some of us are chasing the dream instead of the purpose. What happens? Purpose deal with people. Purpose deal with people. Dreams, it deals with people. But purpose, when you are purposeful, it deals with people. It deals with not about you, but about where you're going. And God speaks to our future and not where we are. You may be in a situation right now, circumstances right now. It don't feel good. It's not good, but it works out for your good, because everything that God does is in purpose and it has intentions. Tell somebody, hashtag, I'm chasing purpose. Tell somebody, hashtag, I'm chasing purpose. You got to be chasing purpose, not chasing the dream, but chasing the purpose. And so I want you to be able to chase what God has given you and what he has totally gave you. It's time for you to chase purpose and not the dream. Tell somebody, hashtag, I'm chasing purpose and not the dream. And so this is so big for me and so huge for me, because so often when we are entrepreneurs, because I know it's entrepreneurs on here, it's so many people on here. You may be an entrepreneur, you may work in a company. And sometimes, let me tell somebody that our purpose is still the same, but the assignment changed on our life. The purpose is still the same, but the assignment changed. Tell somebody, my purpose is still the same, but my assignment changes. So every day of your life, when you're waking up and you're doing things, your assignment changes. Your purpose is still the same, but your assignment is different. And often, sometimes we just get up like it's an everyday thing. Like, I'm just going to get up. And that's why so many people are not fulfilled. The first thing that you have to know about purpose is, first of all, you have to know you, your identity. Your identity, your identity. And the first thing that you have to know is who you are, what you was created to do, and what was you, let me slow down, what you was created to do and what God has called you to, right? So the first thing is that identity. When God give you identity, that means when you was born into this world and you was birthed out of your mother's womb, the first thing they do, you go through the cycle, right? And so they go in and they say, hey, it's a boy, it's a girl. So now they identified you as a boy or a girl. But now once I identify you, that means I have to give you your identification, right? So now I first of all identified you. Now it's identification. That's two different things. It's just like when you go in Wisconsin, we have, when you go to the DMV, right? And so they say, hey, let's take a picture, let's get your identification. And then they start adding the details, your height, your weight, the color of your eyes, what you look like. And so now God said, let me not only give them their identity, but I will give them identification, because now I've given you identification. Now I'm going to give you details of your life. He said that I established you. He said, I set you in the foundation of this world. That means that when he set means I've established you. So that means that God has already established your life. That means that God has already established what he's created you to do. That means he needs you to walk into what he designed you to do. But what happens is we became everything. What God wants to help you do is to help you unbecome to become. Tell somebody, he is unbecoming to become. I am unbecoming to become. Tell somebody, I'm unbecoming to become. Hey, Gwen. Hey, Calvin. Tell somebody, I'm unbecome to become. Right? Because what happens to us is that when we hit this earth, we get all this stuff in the inside of us. Somebody thoughts, somebody ideas, somebody ideologies, somebody thoughts, ideas, and ideologies. What we should be, how we should be, the way we should act, what we should be, this and that. We got to be this way. We got to be that way, right? So what happens? Then we become the very thing that everybody wants us to be, instead of becoming the very thing that God has created you to be. So what happens next, now that we unbecome to become, is that now he has to detox everything out of us. Everything, every hurt, every pain, every disappointment, everything that have ever happened to your life, he has to help you unbecome to become. Because now I got to deal with your pain. Right now, I got to deal with your hurt. Come on, raise your hand if you know that you have pain and hurt and disappointment. And sometimes there's a process to the progress. Tell somebody, I'm in the process to the progress. And so what happens is I've gave you your identity, and now I give you identification, and now I'm giving you the details of your life. So the amazing thing about God is that he wants for you to have details of your life. He begins to tell you who you are and what you was created to do. But because we have allowed everything else to pull us back, to put us in the fear, to put us in rejection and abandonment. Come on, can somebody say, hey, I've been through there. I've been through that. Trying to prove who I am, dealing with a rejection, dealing with abandonment, trying to say, God, well, who have you created Rochelle to be? Who have you created Rochelle to be? Because I've been through so much. I've dealt with so much. Who am I? Because the very thing on earth, that's what we're doing. We're questioning, who are we? And then we have to unbecome to become. That's what God does with us, because he said, I want to break the tradition. I want to break the idea. I want to break the ideology. I want to break what you thought you was. I want to break what your mama spoke over you, what your daddy spoke over you, what people said about you. Because what happens is that because you are not what you used to be, God said, I have to help you unbecome to become, because your presence is who you are. I identified you. I gave you identification. I told you that you're more than enough. But what we have to understand, that everything starts with the mind. And so sometimes we we are chasing the thing. When I say a dream, you're chasing the things of what people have told you. You're chasing the things of what the teachers in society have told you. You are chasing that dream of, I gotta be married by this time. Oh, I gotta have kids by this time. Come on, some of us has lived this. Oh, that's not who that person is. So you're chasing that very thing, right? We're chasing it because I'm chasing what somebody told me. I'm chasing what I thought I should have been. I'm chasing the dream instead of the purpose and what he made me to be. So I'm chasing it. I'm chasing what they said that I couldn't do. So I'm trying to prove myself in this dream. I'm trying to prove that I got it all together. I'm trying to prove that I ain't broken. I'm trying to prove that I can have all that they said that I couldn't have. But instead of you embracing the identity, instead of you embracing who he made you to be, instead of you embracing that, yeah, you may be broken, but I'm not going to be broken too long. Yeah, you may not have it all, but I'm going to get it, because everything in life is a process to the progress. And once we get up in our mind that it's okay to not be okay, it's okay not to have it all together, then we will understand what he created us to do. Then we will understand that everything is a process to the progress, right? So often we fight in our mind. It's a mind thing. That's why he said he's a mind regulator. Why? Because our mind is running all the time. Our mind is steady going and we're steady trying to figure it out. And if you would just wait, if you would just sit, if you would say, what have you called and created me to do? What have you designed me to do? Because I know that there's purpose in my life. And so when you understand that when you set your mind, set me, you want to write this down, set me to establish. That means when you have already been set, God said, listen, I spoke your name. And so he said, hey, Rochelle, before you came into this world, I created you. I designed you. I spoke your name in the atmosphere. And so because I've created you for this, I need you to walk through this, because your branding, listen, God brands us, not man. Hello, set me to establish. He already established you. He's already given you everything that's to life. But because we have allowed the dream of man-made, that we have allowed society to dictate to us, that we have allowed our mothers, our fathers, our childhood, our wounds to dictate to where we're going, then we have a setback instead of a set forward. So when we get to the place that it's not a setback, but it's a set forward, tell somebody it's not a setback, it's a set forward. Because your life is a testimony for somebody else. Come on, share this with somebody, because somebody needs to hear this. Tag somebody in this. So you need to understand that when he created you, he designed you for not a setback, but a set forward. Because every day is a brand new day. You got 24 hours in a day. And so because I've created you and I designed you, that's what you got to understand. It's a moment. It's not a lifetime. Everything that you go through is a moment and not a lifetime. Every season has been a moment. It's not a lifetime. You got fall, you got spring, you got winter, you got summer. Guess what? It's a moment, not a season. It was not a setback, but it was a set forward. Everything that we have been through. You're looking at a woman that has been not only one abortion, but two abortions. You're looking at a woman that has been broken. You're looking at a woman that has been confused, misused, abused. You're looking at a woman that was trying to prove who she was and that I didn't understand everything. You're looking at a woman that was trying to be everything that everybody wanted me. I was chasing their dreams. I was chasing what they thought that was good for me. I was chasing not the purpose that God had for me. I walked in fear. I walked in disappointment. I walked in shame. I walked in abandonment and rejection. That's why I never ever went full force in the things that he told me to do, because I kept saying to myself, well, God, what if they reject me? But he said, I called you. They didn't call you. See, God brands us, not man. When you understand that your obedience to God, when you step into purpose, catch this. When you step into purpose, it's your obedience to him. See, I put a post out just recently and I said, man wants results, but God wants our obedience. Catch that? You might want to write that down. Man wants results, but God wants your obedience. And obedience does not look like grand scan. Obedience doesn't always the perfect. It don't feel good. And sometimes when you obey, it's like you looking at everybody. Prime example. Some of us, even me, I've done an event. And we be like, God told us to do this event. And it's part of your purpose. God tell you to do an event. And you do it and nobody shows up. So now you discouraged. And now you don't understand why didn't nobody show up. I did everything. I did the work. I saved this money. But you said God told you. See, this it comes between do you want man results or God's results? Because if don't nobody else show up, God want to see out of your obedience, would you still walk it? He wants to know, would you still do it? Would you still do what I've called and created you to do? Because the thing is, what is common to man is not common to God. And so your walk and your purpose become different. Your walk and your purpose is different than everybody else. And so when you walk in purpose, it's going to cause obedience like nobody's business. And it doesn't feel good because it looks like everybody's moving. It looks like it's not looking good. But when you obedience is not about you looking good. Obedience is not about you getting everything done. Obedience is not about man's approval. Obedience is about God's approval. Tell somebody, I want God's approval, not man. Tell somebody, I want God's approval and not man. I want God's approval and not man's approval. Why? Because some of us, and if we're honest with ourselves, we fight. We fight for man's approval. We want people to tell us, oh, you did a good job. Oh, you're phenomenal. Oh, you did. My question is to you today, as you start this weekend shift. As we're walking into March, March is a blooming month. It's a new season. It's a spring. Listen, spring forth. It's a leap forth. And so I want you to leap into your purpose. I want you to leap into what God has called you to do. I want you to leap so deep. And so you won't look for man's approval. You won't look for man to say you did a good job. You're looking for God to tell you, well done. You're looking for him to tell you, you are amazing. You're looking for him to tell you you're great. You're looking for him to tell you just because of you, because we don't need man's approval. We need God's approval. Let me give you another nugget. You might want to write this down too. Why you keep asking to be great when he already made you great? Ooh, that might have hit somebody. Why are you asking for great when he already made you great? Why are you asking for people for greatness when he already made you great? When you was born into this world, he said you're great. When he said that you was fearfully and wonderfully made. When he gave you everything. Let me tell you, it takes literally, in your mind, it takes literally 21 days to transform a thought. 21 days. A thought, it takes your thought, your mind. It takes 21 days for that mind to be, for that thought to just transform. So I'm going to challenge you in the month of March. I want you to leap into purpose in the month of March. I'm going to challenge you to spring forth in the month of March. I'm going to challenge you to leap forth in the month of March. I am going to challenge you to do what you was created to do in the month of March. Listen, March has 31 days. In 31 days, I'm going to challenge you. And it's going to take some discipline. It's going to take some obedience. It's going to take for you to do what God has called you to do, because we're in a season now that there cannot be no more excuses of why you're not doing what he told you to do. It's time for you to stop looking for man approval and look for God's approval. Stop looking for man results and looking for God results. Yeah, you may have failed a couple times, but in your failure, there's success. Come on. Because when people look at failure, they say that's not success. But failure is success. Because if you do not fail, you will never know what it means to get up. You'll never know what it means to keep pushing and keep thriving. You'll never know what it means that if I go chase my purpose, come on, and not chasing the dream of other people, if not chasing the dream of gotta be this way at a certain age, because some of y'all are challenged with your ages. Come on. Some of y'all looking at your age and you're saying, well, I'm 50, I'm 60, and I have not made it that far yet. Okay, well, let me help you. We could talk about Sarah. We can go down the list of many women in the Bible and men that was at old age. And because they was at that age, God still blessed them and favored them. Tell somebody I'm favored. Tell somebody in the month of March, I'm favored. Because let me tell you, the doors that you will walk through, the doors that you will go through, it's not going to be man, but it's going to be God. Tell somebody hashtag suddenly. Tell somebody suddenly some doors about to open. Tell somebody suddenly things are about to happen in my life because I've made up in my mind. Come on. I made up in my mind that this is my life. I made up in my mind that I'm not going to allow my trials or my tribulations to dictate to where I'm going, because God does not speak to your now. He speaks to your future. He speaks to where you're going and not where you are. He speaks to what you've been, not where you've been through, but where you when you're coming out. See, you got to praise him even when it ain't good. And you got to praise him when it look crazy. What look crazy to men? Because they looking at you like, oh, you a full-time entrepreneur. How you a full-time entrepreneur? You listen, let me tell you, God does crazy things. He doesn't do things that's common to man. See, faith is not what you see, is what you believe. Let me tell you, God knows in the natural what you need. When you jumping out and doing what God has called you to do, he gives you a plan. Let me tell you. I'm telling y'all this right now. Most people say jump. No, don't you dare jump. You pray out the plan and you do what God tells you to do, because God would never tell you to jump without a plan. He's a man of a plan, because when he made you, you was a plan. Come on. When he made you, you was a plan, but you don't walk in fear. You don't walk in doubt. You don't walk in disbelief, but you walk in faith. What do faith look like? Well, let me help you out with faith for some of y'all that struggle with faith, because I was one, and still some moments I struggle with faith because I'm saying, God, you told me to do this. What did I tell you? Obedience doesn't look like what we think it should look like. Purpose doesn't look like what we think it should look like, because when I'm purposeful in what I'm doing, it's not going to look like what everybody thinks it should look like. Let me help you with faith. Faith is like when you get up every day and it's a normal day. Getting up every day, learning to trust God in everything that you do. Getting up, brushing your teeth, getting up, washing your face, getting up, doing what you was created to do. And don't stop. Some of y'all allow what's going on around you to stop you from being where you need to go, and to the point where you be saying, well, God, is this you? Did you tell me this? You got all these questions in your head. You got everything overtaking you and overpowering you to the point you don't have the faith like you should. God wants us to chase purpose and not the dream. When I say that, I want you to hear me. Some of y'all are chasing the dreams of other people that want what they want for your life. You're chasing the dream of what society say. You should be married by this time. You should have kids by this time. You're chasing the dream of what your mama or daddy may say to you. Well, you need to do this and you need to go to school and you need to. Some of y'all are chasing that dream. You're chasing the dream of other people instead of chasing the purpose. See, Joseph was not chasing the dream, but he knew that there was purpose in the dream. So he couldn't chase what his brothers was jealous, envy. They threw him in a pit. Some of y'all know the story. I don't have to go through the line of the story. But everything that he went through was purposeful. Tell somebody, God brands me, not man. Because everybody can't have your brand. You know why? Because everybody ain't gone through what you went through to get that brand. They haven't been through what you've been through when you went through the branding and the tears and the disbelief, and when your faith was tested, and when you lost everything, and when you was homeless, because you talking to somebody that was homeless, that lived outside of a car and went to go have to take showers in a hospital. Come on. You're looking at somebody that had to press past, living homeless out of a hotel and catching a bus to get to work. Come on. You're looking at somebody that didn't have it all. Come on. Because some of us don't believe that because you went through hell and hot water that there's no purpose. But baby, let me remind you, my son, my daughter, my man, my woman, the king, the queen that you are, that there is purpose in all that you do. There is purpose through every trial and tribulation that you've been through. See, I've been homeless. Yeah. I've been through the journey. Yeah. And still will go through some things. But when you make up in your mind, I'm gonna shift you into this week because you're gonna leap. You're gonna leap from out of your circumstances. You're gonna leap from out of the problems that you had. You're gonna leap from your past. You're not gonna keep bringing and rehearsing the past over and over and over again. You're not gonna keep rehearsing what somebody did to you and how they made you feel. You're not gonna keep rehearsing this thing because let me tell you, the more you rehearse it, it gets redundant. Some people, they did this challenge, and I challenge you to probably call about 10 people and rehearse that story over and over. Because then after a while, about time you really get to the fifth person rehearsing that same story, you get tired because it has no purpose anymore. Some of y'all keep allowing yourself to be around people that keep speaking to the old version of you that don't exist. Tell somebody, listen, the old version of me is dead. The old version of me is dead. You're not, because some people still see, me by my nickname, or they still see this and they still feel like, oh, she feel like she got to prove something. But baby, wake up, baby. You ain't got to prove nothing because God already approved you. Before you was formed out your mother's womb, he approved you. Before you stepped foot out of the room, he approved you. Tell somebody, I'm approved. I've always was approved. I always had all the things that God promised me, but he needed to shift your mind. He needed to shift the way you think. He needed to get you to the place where you know that you can receive. See, sometimes some of y'all got to learn how to accept what he's giving you. You got to receive it. Some of y'all that are givers, y'all love to give, and y'all don't know how to receive. Some of y'all got to learn how to receive the approval. Some of y'all got to learn how to receive what he called you to be. Some of y'all got to receive it. And now I'm in a receiving mood. Now watch here we go. Catch this. I got to watch my words. I got to watch what I say. I got to watch what I say because now I accepted what he called me to be. Now I got to watch my words. When it gets dark and gloomy for me, God, I trust you. See, some of y'all got to build yourself up on the word until the word becomes clear to you. Until the words become, because some of y'all are going through things and you keep speaking. You in a season where you keep speaking negative and you keep saying, well, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. My mama said this and my daddy said this, and you keep saying my sisters them said this. You got to learn how to receive and watch your words because now I receive the authority. Come on. Woo! Y'all, I'm getting too excited because I love talking about purpose. Listen, what I tell you, I'm going to break this analogy down to you. That what happened was, if you go back and read in the book of John, because I want you to study for yourself. Don't always take the word of people, but you need to study. He said, study that shelf to show that proof need not to be made. It's not about quoting the scripture, but it's about living it. So let me tell you what happens was when Jesus came to this earth and he said, listen, and he was training the disciples and he was getting them ready because he was about to exit this earth. He was giving them everything to live this life. What happened? He said, now, if you go right here, I want to tell you, if you go in John, the book of John, he said, now I'm about to leave because he was preparing them while he was leaving. He said, now I'm about to leave. And now I'm about to leave. I'm finna transfer my authority to you. Ooh, listen. You got to first understand that he has given you the authority. Some of y'all ain't accessing your authority. Some of y'all ain't speaking life because you've been so much in a dark place. Some of y'all have been in a dark place. February wasn't the best month for you. I know because I was living it. Some of y'all was like, I don't know how I'm coming up out of this, but God, you said in your word. But listen, some of y'all don't understand. When Jesus left this earth, he said, listen, I've given you everything of me. That means he transferred authority to you. Listen, he giving you authority. But in the beginning, before you get to the New Testament, I'm going to help you because this is going to be practical. Before you get to the New Testament, in the Old Testament, in the beginning, he said, I made you in my image and in my likeness. So what happened? What happened was in the beginning, he gave us the authority already, because then he goes on and say Genesis 1:28. He said, listen, for you, I bless you. He said, I'm blessed, and I'm paraphrasing. So I bless you. He said that you come, that you be fruitful and multiply, subdue and have dominion. What do that mean? That means now I've given you authority to go subdue, to have dominion, that I've given you authority. And some of y'all are not walking to your authority. You have the power and the authority. That's why he said life and death was in the power of your tongue. Why? Because he said when you speak, Come on. When you speak, you can change. Listen, you can change how you feel. You can't change the situation, but you can change the way you think about it. You can change the way you see it. So it doesn't mean that the situation changed instantly, but it means that you begin to change the way you see it and what you think. Come on. Tell somebody, God gave me authority. Access your authority. Some of y'all are not accessing the authority. Well, how do I access it? I'm glad you asked me that question. How do you access your authority? That's a good question you asked me. You access your authority by getting into the word. You access your authority by building yourself up. You access your authority that when trials and tribulations come, you will be able to speak the word in the storm because he tells us to speak. Why do God tell us to speak? He reminds us every time to speak. Even in your business, for you that's entrepreneurs, he said, speak to it. Speak to what you want to see in your life. Speak to what you want to happen in your life, and then you put action to it. You got to speak. You got the authority. He gave you access. So the other assignment that you have as you shift in March, for 31 days, I want you to speak life. I want you to get a sheet. If you have a piece of paper in front of you right now, I want you to speak for Thursday, 31 days of speaking life. You cannot speak nothing negative. And when you catch yourself, say nope. Because then the word tells you to cast down every thought and every imagination to the obedience of Christ. Uh-oh. There go the obedience word again. I love it. Because for 31 days, I'm going to challenge you to speak life. For 31 days. It takes 21 days for a thought to be transformed. So for 31 days, whatever area you want to pick, whether it's your business, whether it's your marriage, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your ministry, whatever you want to do for 31 days, I want you to begin to speak life. Because God is giving you the authority to do it. That's why he always talks about what we say out of our mouths, your authority, even if you don't feel good. I'm telling you, if you find some music, I don't care. One of my favorite artists is India Arie. I love her. I find positive music even when I ain't got the strength. Sometimes, and what you have to be careful is what you listen to, what you entertain yourself. You know, some of y'all would listen to, and people say, well, no, I can listen. No, you cannot. Because it gets inside of you and it can switch your mood. Everything has a mood to it. Everything can change. I'm telling you, it takes one thing to change it. What are you believing? What are you chasing after? I want you to chase after purpose like crazy. I want you to go crazy in purpose. I want you to go so crazy in purpose for the rest of this year that you begin to transform your thinking. First of all, he said, listen, to no longer be conformed to this world, but be transformed. Uh-oh. That means I got to transform my mind. Uh-oh. That means I got to do something differently. That means I gotta speak differently. Some of y'all gotta change your surroundings, your environment. You gotta change the type of music you're listening to, because if you listen to upbeat music, it gets you going, right? Listen to the words that you speak out your mouth. It's nothing wrong to say, this is how I feel. But after you say that, I want you to say, I'm great. I feel much better. I know that I got this. I'm more than enough. Because let me tell you, God has so much control. So listen, 31 days of speaking life.
Oh, whoo! Let me tell you, the way I have written notes today.
I love taking notes.
It's been amazing. It has been amazing. So this is what I love, because you have given us another challenge. So here we go. We're walking into March. We are shifting into the new week and into the new month simultaneously, because tomorrow is March 1. And so our challenge is to speak life, to speak positivity for 31 days. And that is not easy for everybody, especially when it comes to talking about ourselves. I know you gave people an option of what to do, and you do. I'm with it. Yeah, everybody, you still have an option, but you must also add to that you will speak about yourself positively for 31 days. Mm-hmm. So in addition to whatever else you're speaking life into and over, great. But I add to that challenge that for 31 days, you will speak positively only about yourself, even to yourself, which is where we try to cheat.
Absolutely.
Or we cheat a lot. Oh, you say, oh, girl, yeah, I do good. That's not what your mind is saying to you. So, my further challenge is that for 31 days, every single person under the sound of my voice and who was under the sound of Rochelle's voice, that for 31 days, to everybody else and to yourself, you will only speak positively about you. Now, let's see if you can do that for 21 days and see what happens on day 22.
I'm telling you. Let's see. Because it's so important. If people really, anything that you do is the power of your words.
Yep.
But you got to know the authority that you carry. Because most people don't understand that when Jesus left this earth, he transferred authority to us.
Right. But we had it from the gate when it's in us. God lives within. So we're gonna touch on a couple of things and we're gonna be out because I told the people 20 minutes and I lied, but it's all right. So here we go.
It's okay. Chase purpose and not the dream. Come on.
So the first thing I want to touch, one is to talk about societal and familial pressures to keep cycles going, to keep traditions going, to keep rituals going. That happens everywhere. It happens in your job, it happens in your family, it happens on Thanksgiving, it happens every Sunday at church sometimes. So touching that and adding it to something else you talked about breaking things. You were talking about breaking these traditions, breaking these rituals, breaking even these beliefs. But the idea that we are chasing something. And I thought about running. So when you're chasing something, you're running after it. But sometimes, like if somebody interrupts you or for some reason something happens and you have to break your stride while you're running, sometimes you fall. And people may get tripped up in their breaking and it may hurt. They may fall. It may not result in what you thought it was going to result in, but it doesn't mean you weren't supposed to break it. You still need to break your stride. You need to stop the running. No matter what happens when you stop. Because a sudden stop, because you talked about suddenly. A sudden stop.
Suddenly.
If your body or your momentum has you going in a certain way, you may stop and hurt yourself even. But that doesn't mean you weren't supposed to stop.
Bingo.
It doesn't mean you weren't supposed to stop. So I do a few broadcasts, and in one broadcast, which was not this one, we were talking about cycles. And actually, I may have talked about this with Belinda on Mirror Image, but we talked about cycles and needing to break cycles. And sometimes the only way you can get to your true purpose is to break a cycle of what may have been a dream. Not all dreams are meant to come true. So, I mean, I think that's so great.
I think so many people, though, when they think about a cycle, you know, like a bicycle, you keep going and you ain't stopping. You like, I got to keep doing this. I got to keep doing this. But like you said, some things you got to break in the midst of the cycle, right? Because if I keep doing the same thing repetitively and I don't see a result, then what am I doing, right? Because I'm chasing the very thing that people, like I said, the dream. You're chasing the dream of other people. I'm chasing the dream of, oh man, I got to be this way, or I got to be married at this certain time. Because society, and even the church and even other things, have put these stimulations on us that we are chasing. So I gotta be this millionaire before I hit this age, right? Because in our minds, we think that we have to be a certain way because everything starts with a mind. And it goes back, you know, even the thing, tradition and all that, it goes back even to your childhood because it's like a marriage. You've been married, and so you bringing two people together that comes from two different backgrounds, two different traditions, all that. You're bringing two people together that have a way that the way marriage should be. But then when you get in the rhythm of what your marriage should be and what the DNA of your marriage should be, then you won't have the issues. You won't clash because I'm breaking what I thought that this should be, but knowing that you're different than me and I'm different than you. So now I got to bring these two people together. And I got to say, well, Well, you went this way. Okay, well, my mom and daddy done been this way for years. And so
Right.
I'm trying to be what they are. But you can't be what they are. Right?
Right.
Because I need to learn what you are as my wife. I need to know what you like as my wife, as my husband. I need to know what you like, what your ideas. Because now we come together and now we got to break. Here we go. What I said earlier. I got to unbecome to become.
Right. Right. And the thing is, two things. One, you talk about doing stuff over and over again and expecting something different. Well, that's the actual definition of the word insanity.
Absolutely.
And then the other piece of that is when you do become that new thing, whether you're marrying two people or two new ideas of from who you used to be and who you are now, whatever that marriage is, and it becomes whatever it's going to be, the people outside may not get it and they may not like it, but that doesn't matter because this is your purpose. And so I saw a post on Facebook the other day and it says, not everyone is going to understand your calling because it wasn't a conference call.
It was never a conference call. You didn't.
It was just you.
When God called me, He didn't say, "Hey, Renee, we'll call Rochelle and tell her what I said she is." I didn't need your approval. My approval
Right.
was only God, because when I got into a place and say, "Okay, Rochelle, well, what are you called to be?" Even in the fear, even when I didn't think I was worthy of it, He still say, "I called you." He still say you're good enough. He still say, even in the decisions that you make that was outside of my will, you're still good enough for me. You're still
Right.
just enough for me, because I want you to know that when I created you and I designed you, there's purpose. And so my assignment may change, but my purpose is still the same.
Right. Because it's a new day, a new dawn, but you were still, from the moment you were incepted, you were given purpose. So this is what we're going to do. Everybody out there, one, you got a challenge. You have got to speak positively
31
into
days.
life for 31 days. And the
31
additional
days.
to that challenge is that you also have to speak positively over yourself, to yourself and to everybody else for 31 days.
31
We're going
days.
to understand that we are going to be chasing purpose and not the dream. And we're going to start breaking some of these things. We're going to break stride in some of these cycles. We are going to break the tradition. We're going to break curses. We're going to break it all because that's what we're going to do. That's even in the speaking positively about yourself, others, and the other things you want to speak into. That is breaking a curse that maybe your own mouth put over you. So we're going to be breaking our stride in negativity. We're going to be unbecoming to become this month, because that's what we're going to do with our positive words this month. So in our Sunday shift today, that is what we're doing. Everybody got it. I hope you took notes on it. I know I'm seeing Kelvy. Is that how you saying it?
Yep,
Kelvy and
Calvi.
Gwendolyn. Calvy and Gwendolyn. And I've seen Shaughnessy and whoever else is out there. I know that you see this. I know that you've heard this. I hope that you've shared this, because we are shifting. The whole purpose of the refining life is to provide you experiences, to have your mindset shifted so that you can lead a more positive and productive life. And if you didn't get that today, my, I do not know what else you need. But it's okay, because we're going to come back next month and do this all over again. But Rochelle, I want to say thank you, because talk about speaking with power and authority, speaking with godly boldness. You did not have a problem giving us what we needed today. We surely have had a Sunday shift. And if not right now, watch the broadcast again. You'll pick it up because she laid it all down for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity. Y'all make sure y'all tune in next Sunday, as she said, to shifting to somebody else coming in and just refining you. This is called the refined in life. So it is meant to refine you in every area of your life.
Yep. Even if it hurts, you'll be all right.
Hey,
sometimes it hurts when you grow.
That's the beauty about it, but it comes out to be beautiful though. It's gonna
Amen.
sting. It's just for a moment though. Like I say, there's seasons in our life. It's just for a moment. It's not a lifetime.
Right. So Rochelle, if they want to follow you and get up with you, tell them how to do it.
Well, listen, you can follow me on Instagram. Instagram is called REP Mind Shifter. You can follow me on Instagram, REP Mind Shifter. Facebook, you can follow me on Rochelle Parker. Also, you can also follow my page on my coaching page. It's called REP, called Reach, Empower, Produce coaching page for my business as well. I am a mind shift coach and a speaker. You can also find me in one of my groups. It's called Kingdom Mind Builder, where we building your mind, getting you shift in that. So follow me on all them social media pages. You can get in contact with me that way. I also, while she talks about March into Your Madness, we have a week event called March into Your Madness, Mind, Health, and Beauty. And so the first 25 women that sign up for it, you get a free T-shirt. It is a price to it. It is $75. Come on, tell somebody $75. What's $75 gonna do for you? It's gonna do a lot, because let me tell you the benefits that's coming with that. We have trainers, we have a therapist that's coming in, we actually have a doctor that's coming in to talk to you about your body. And it is for women. So sorry, fellas, it's for my women. So the first 25 women that sign up, it will be starting March 15th on out. It's a week. And so when I tell you the benefits of having it, it's on my page. You can go, it's on Eventbrite, and go and sign up for it. I'm telling you that the benefits of coming to be renewed, restored, and refreshed, and also being able to get connected to other people. And it's about mind, health, and beauty from every aspect of your life, where you will be shifted into your purpose.
Amen. Amen. Well, Rochelle, I thank you. And I welcome you to the Refining Life family, because once you are with us, you can't get rid of us. I'm sorry. I hope you hadn't planned on going away.
I wasn't. I'm connected now, but you're stuck like Chuck. We chasing purpose together. So come on.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you everyone who tuned in today. Everybody who is watching the replay, please make sure you throw up the hashtag replay and let your mind be refined, and keep your mind refined. Every day is a new day, and there's a new way that you can live. So I love you. This is Dr. Renita, and this is Rochelle. Thank you again. And you all have a wonderful week, a wonderful end of your month, and a wonderful start to the next. Bye.